Hi, I'm Todd Huspany. I serve in the Office of Academic Affairs here at UWSP, and I'm also a board member for the United Way of Portage County. And I'm here today as a guest of our Chancellor, Chancellor Gibson, and along with us we have Fred Hebblewhite, who is the Executive Director of United Way of Portage County. And welcome, Fred, and thank you, Chancellor, for having us. Fred, as we have a conversation about what United Way is and does for our community, help us with some examples.
As far as what United Way does, I would say that we look at the most current critical needs of our community's most vulnerable populations. And then we have programs that serve those needs that we partner with throughout the community. And there are over 30 programs. The great thing about this United Way and this community is this, I think, a really great, rich history that we've had with UWSP. And I did a little research too. And back in the early 90s, we had Mary Croft from UWSP, who was our board president. She was on our executive committee, allocations committee chair. But she essentially worked with us on our allocations handbook to figure out how do we allocate those funds in the best manner, to make sure that it is research-based, that we are really looking at what are the true needs.
Thank you. When I think of United Way, I think of Boys and Girls Club, and as soon as you start naming some, I know I'm going to leave any number off. But fixtures in our community that serve so many in our community and serve our community of workers and students, faculty and staff at UWSP, but also provide wonderful volunteer opportunities as well for our UWSP community. And whether it's the YMCA, whether it's the Aging and Disability Resource Center, I happen to know colleagues, a retired math professor who for years has teamed up with accounting professors as well as students that help with the VITA tax program. And the list goes on, but so not only the services that United Way provides to the community, but that UWSP and its volunteerism provides back through United Way. So in terms of perspectives or thoughts, Chancellor, of UWSP and this partnership?
Yeah, so I, for one, am proud of our long history of supporting and collaborating with United Way. Certainly, I believe that United Way and UWSP, we have a shared vision. We share a vision of providing quality education and services to our various constituency group. We both are stewards of place. And what I mean by that is we feel an obligation to serve the communities in which we serve. And we invite our students, our faculty, and our staff to also get involved. And when I think of service, I don't solely think of our students going out and just performing a particular task. But rather, our students and our faculty, they too benefit from this exchange. Our students learn real-world practices and really benefit from this exposure. Our faculty have the opportunity to lend their expertise to a number of different important issues that's surfacing, if you will, within the community. And I really just welcome the opportunity to continue that good work and partnerships that we established so long ago.
Yeah, the United Way started in 1945 here in Portage County, and since then, like you had mentioned, we've had a lot of people in many different positions in service to United Way and to the community. Right now we have an intern, Samantha Ivy, who is awesome. But yeah, just a lot of different individuals on committees and that partner with programs.
Chancellor, I really appreciate your comments on the shared vision and the alignment, and I believe United Way has itself one of its three primary pillars aligns directly with ours, and that's for education. And maybe Fred, you could tell us a little bit about that as well as the other pillars.
Sure, and really it is the three pillars that really unite not just this United Way, but all United Ways are education, financial stability, and health. And I'm kind of a history geek. I look back, this is not something new. This is something that came about in the 1930s, long before it actually had the name United Way. But those three pillars are what they looked at, and still today we work with our investment teams, our allocations teams, to basically evaluate all of our programs on one of those areas. So each one of our programs follows one of those pillars, and that's what we base our funding on. And we do a lot of research. A big part of what we do is based on research. We just did our community assessment called the Life Report. Rob Mansky from the UWSP and several others were involved heavily with that project. We also work closely with this ALICE report, the United Way ALICE report, that looks at asset limited, income constrained, employed individuals. We want to make sure that we're doing our homework to make sure that those dollars are used wisely.
In terms of nuts and bolts, this is an opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
The annual
Yes.
fund drive,
Yeah.
where you can employees and faculty, staff, students can pledge a particular amount to United Way, and you also have the opportunity, and I think most of our faculty and staff have received this, but an opportunity to designate two particular causes that United Way supports, and I won't read them all off, but there's well over a dozen to 2 dozen. Yeah.
Oh yes, yeah. There are up to 30 plus programs if you want to direct your funding directly to that program. And I kind of mentioned current critical needs, and that's not always just financial. Many of United Way's programs go well beyond that. Behavioral health, with our mental health programs, which are not based on income. We've got our third grade reading program. That's for third grade readers who are struggling, and they're identified by their teacher. And then we have a program or a system of tutors that will help those kids in need, because the whole premise of the program is up to third grade you learn to read. After third grade you read to learn. If you don't have that by third grade, you will fall behind quickly. So if it's not a monetary pledge, maybe if someone on campus would want to be part of that program and any other number of programs, we would love to have that as well.
Fred, I really appreciate all the various opportunities that exist for each and every member of our community to serve. So I know where my passion lies, and I look forward to you discovering yours.